Hi everyone. Firstly, I want to say sorry that this video took so long to get up online. It's just every time I came home to record it, it was very dark. I've got two lights on me right now, as well as the lights in the room to try and brighten it up so you can see my face. Just things didn't fall into place, so I apologise for it being late. So this is part 2, but first let's recap part 1. So I got symptoms at 16 years old and they progressed till I was 17. I went to my doctor and they believed it was a hemorrhoid. 99% it was a hemorrhoid. Unfortunately I was the 1% and it was ulcerative colitis. So I ended up in hospital. They gave me steroids and I got better. I left hospital and I didn't really get much better after I left. I ended up back in hospital. Something I didn't mention in the last video is in between me being out of hospital and then back in, like I said in the last video, I had a girlfriend, Sarah, at the time. I actually broke up with Sarah when I came out of hospital, not long afterwards, a couple of days. Now the reason for that, the reason I told my friends was like a boyish kind of reason to laugh it off. I can't remember what it was at the time, but it wasn't the real reason. And the real reason was because I just wanted to focus in on myself. I had this new illness and all I wanted to do was get back to college and work on me, which is selfish. I also didn't want her to be worrying about me. She had her own tests that she was doing and she was coming to see me in hospital, obviously putting a lot of pressure on her, and it was only a new relationship, so I didn't want her to be dragged into my new problem, but also I was selfish in the way that I wanted to just focus on myself. You may have done things differently, you may think I was wrong, but that's what I did, so I think I did the right thing at the time. Anyway, so now I'm back in hospital and the first few weeks were a bit samey. I went to a couple of different wards, medical wards, and I just tried to eat and I was losing weight, and it was just really painful. The doctors gave me steroids again, gave me a different type and this type, and I was continuously losing weight. I went in and maybe about 11.5, 12 stone, and 2 or 3 weeks later I was about 10.5 stone, and I was very, very unwell. One of the things that you probably won't have at any hospital anymore is baths, or not on normal wards anyway, and I had 2 baths when I was there before my first op, and they were really nice and relaxing, and they left you alone. And you could fit in them. If you're a tall individual, you'll probably fit in these baths that they have because they were huge. But that's one thing that I could take from the first parts of my hospital visit. But now moving on, like I said, I wasn't getting better. I was decreasing in weight. I was feeling really unwell. I ended up on a gastric ward in this horrible old grey building above the maternity ward. It's really not a nice building. I ended up on a gastro ward with, I think it was 4 other people in a bay area with me, and I just remember a guy was using the commode, and obviously with gastro it smelled. It was a smelly place and I didn't enjoy it. Unluckily, my brother had chicken pox in the time I was in and out of hospital. So I told the doctors that, and I started to get spots on my back from all of the steroids, but they didn't want to risk that it could be chicken pox and I was contagious. So because I was contagious, I got my own room, which was lovely. So being put into my own room, I didn't mind the awful building because I did have a nice view of Ridge Hill from there, so it's a huge hillside, and the countryside was to my left, which was really nice. I spent a lot of time in that room. Basically all I did was get up, go to the toilet, bleed a lot and be in a lot of pain, and then get up and go back and use my drip as a walking stick, holding onto it, and as I went to and from my room, and I kept deteriorating. My Uncle Matthew brought me all seasons of Open All Hours.
Hey, there's no Owen special.
We're not trying to educate them, we're trying to lure them in.
How's that going to lure 'em in?
Well, to the ones who can't spell it, well, won't make any difference, will it? They'll just come in and see what's special. But there are 28 clever dicks who would have walked straight by who will feel obliged to pop in and tell us how to spell, you see. And once they cross that doorway, I'll have them.
It's a classic comedy, British comedy. Something that I watched when I was younger, and I enjoyed it in hospital. It was light-hearted and funny. I had my own little DVD TV combo thing, big massive old things, and I was really happy with that. So in that room I was still getting worse. I didn't move anywhere else. I was seen by a medical doctor, I think it was like Dr. Watson or something, and he had like his medical team in, and they prodded me and probed me and stuff, and I had a lot of doctors telling me to cough and checking and examining me, and it was an uncomfortable time. I was scanned, and they just kept trying different medication for weeks, so it must have been the third week, and I was deteriorating a lot, and I was about 9.5 stone, and my friend Natalie came to see me, and I was at probably the worst I could have been. I was going a bit green, and I didn't speak to her really. I kind of just lay there, and I wanted to speak to her. I just didn't have the energy. I was just we didn't realise how ill I was. I was dying at the time. I must have been, because of what they told us afterwards, but I was on the turn of being, I'm okay and I'm dealing with this, to I have no energy to talk, focus, I'm just getting up, going to the toilet, coming back, getting in bed. That is it. Natalie must have thought maybe she didn't like seeing me that way, or maybe it's because I ignored her because I just lay there, but she didn't visit me much after that. She was there, but I don't know if I scared her or not, but I always remembered that. Then it came to, the doctors came up with a final solution, and it was basically over the bank holiday weekend. So Friday, I think it was Saturday, Sunday and Monday, everyone had off, across the country people had Monday off, and this was, believe Thursday, and hospitals are dead on a Friday anyway. So he was telling us on Thursday, he said, if nothing changes by Tuesday, to his schedule, with the steroids, then we'll try some toxins. Okay, and there's 3 types of toxins, or 2 types of toxins, and then the last final option would be surgery. Now, surgery obviously sounds a lot scarier than toxins, but it shouldn't, but it does. And I was going to have a specialist of the large bowel, Mrs. Siddiqui, whose name was Dr. Siddiqui, and he's still at the hospital practicing where I had my operation. So yeah, he told me that, and I was like, okay, so I've got options and things are going to be looked at. That's good. The next day, my mother and father came to see me. My dad had already been there for a while and noticed that I wasn't well, and he'd asked for some bloods. Then my mum came, and she saw that I was green, I was not very responsive, and she pushed and pushed for bloods to have someone come and see me, because obviously it was the bank holiday weekend. Even the Friday, nothing was being done. And she pushed and pushed for it, and then when my bloods came back, my white cell count was just ridiculously bad, something in the 20,000s or something around that, and basically they came in and told my parents first, Joseph is going to have surgery. He's going to have his large colon removed. We're going to have to see how much damage there is. My mum and dad argued, well, why? I mean, we had these options, and what about this? And they're like, he's too far gone. And then they said, Dr. Benamida, who's on staff at the moment, is going to do the procedure. And my mum and dad were like, well, we're supposed to have a specialist, like for the large bowel, for the area he's got. No. We can't wait for the specialist. If we wait, Joseph will die. That's what they were told. So they came in and asked me, I'm a 17-year-old, therefore I'm in charge of myself. I could have said no. They said, Joseph, you're going to need to have surgery. And I said, okay. I signed the papers, and then what they needed me to do was pass a certain amount of liquid. So I needed to drink a lot of water, and then they needed to measure how much I passed through me before I could have my surgery. When I was told I was going to have surgery, we didn't know if I'd end up with one stoma or two, and how much I'd need taken out. There was no preparation for it. It was very much an emergency. The nurses told me I was like second in line. The only people we were waiting for was someone who had been rushing in a car accident, and there's only one anaesthetist team over a bank holiday, so I had to wait for that team before I could be put under for my surgeon to do his job. So it's quite lucky nothing else happened, because if I was put further back in the queue, I might not have been here. But when I said I need to have surgery, I remember my dad came in the room and he walked over and looked at the window, and I cried just a little, because I don't cry very often because I'm a man, but I did. I cried, and he turned and he saw me and he said, it's okay to be upset, it's alright to cry. And yeah, it was really difficult, just like this is now, talking about it, because I don't think I've ever told anyone that. So I dried my eyes, no one came in, gave me a hug, and off I went. They took me away. I spoke to the anaesthetist team. The usual count back from 100 and they'll put you out. I was out, and when I woke up, I was so happy. All of the pain was gone. Just gone. And I've never had a feeling like it. I was in such agonizing, glass grinding pain in my stomach. When I was walking to and from that toilet, I was just like, just kill me. But I fought through it, and now I was happy because I'd had my surgery. And I looked down and I had the bag, and I only had one. I had a big patch over my stomach, but it was late at night when I came round, and I remember being washed because I was full of iodine, full of it all over me. I don't know, I think they just got mad with it on a paintbrush and went all over, but I just remember waking up and I was being washed all over, which was a weird experience, by these two people. I'm sure I met them since, but at the time I didn't really remember. And then when I came properly round the next day and I could see my bag, it was completely clear, not as it is now, not like that. It was clear, and it came over my side this way so that they could empty it. And the stoma, which at the moment is this big, was like this big. It was like a burger, and I was like, ugh, what is that? What is that? And I had an epidural, which was a needle that actually was put into my spine before my surgery, which is weird because they make you like touch your toes. And that was giving me my pain relief. And things were, I was happy, you know, my pain had gone. My mum and dad were very happy. They came to see me. My friend Dave was there, who's there, I forgot to mention, but he's there every day, by the way, every day. Well, college is only across the road, he was there every day. And yeah, I had this bag attached to me now, and what's next? So I had to learn about changing it. But because I'd had such trauma, I had to take things very, very easy. For the first couple of days, even a week or so, I couldn't lie on my sides. And I remember the first time my bag leaked. I was only eating porridge and things like that, and my bag leaked on me. And that was an experience, trying to stand up, because I was very weak, so standing up for a long period of time was hard, because I dropped down to about 9 stone. Probably 9.5. And standing up for a long time, I had to hold myself on stuff, and I had to be washed by someone. So I was still getting used to the bag, but I was going to come up with a lot more problems in the future, because as I've said in a lot of previous videos, I've not had one surgery. So without making this video too long, I'm going to leave it there. You know, I've had my surgery, and I've got out the other side, and I had amazing pain relief. And now it's time to try and deal with the bag and the mental issues behind that, and whatever comes next. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you for staying to the end. This isn't scripted. I don't write down anything. I just speak from my memory. You know, that's how I wanted these. I wanted these to be raw and real. I thought if I made a script, then I could edit things the way I wanted them to. But if I just tell you how it was and how it happened, you know, you'll see that it's real. So I will catch you guys in part 2. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please click the like button, share it, comment with any inputs you have, tell me your story. I'll have my email down at the bottom of the page. So thanks guys, and like I say, I'll catch you in the next one.